minute.
Auckland, New Zealand, a sunny day in late June as the field assembles for the start of Leg 1 of the 1985 AWA Clarion Rally of New Zealand. By every count, this was to be the best ever international rally held in New Zealand. A record 7 factory teams were entered: Audi, Peugeot, Toyota, Nissan, Subaru, Lada and Daihatsu. The field of 69 entries included 22 from overseas, 9 of whom were private entries. The organisers were extremely heartened that they were able to attract such a high-class field to New Zealand, so far away from the heart of world rallying in Europe. The field was led away by Stig Blomqvist, last year's winner, driving Audi's supercar, the Sport Quattro. Audi's main opposition was expected from Peugeot, who entered 2 of their new supercars, the 205 Turbo 16s for Finnish drivers Ari Vatanen and Timo Salonen. Woodhill Forest, north of Auckland, the second of 46 high-speed stages covering a total of 900 kilometres. Blomqvist was fastest, the long, fast section suiting the powerful Sport Quattro. He took nearly a second per kilometre off the time set by Walter Röhrl in an A2 Quattro the previous year. Ari Vatanen made a welcome return to New Zealand, many remembering his dramatic efforts in 1977 and 1979. Already he was down on Blomqvist by 21 seconds, holding 4th position. Walter Röhrl, who stunned the opposition with his speed on the first day in last year's rally, drove the second Works Sports Quattro. At this early stage, he was a close second to Blomqvist, trailing by only 4 seconds. For Bjorn Voldegaard, the day began badly. His co-driver Hans Thorsalis was too ill to take part, so a French journalist, Michel Lucerne, took his place. Difficulty with the pace note saw Voldegaard well off the pace, but worse still, he stopped in the stage with gearbox problems and his rally virtually ended there and then. Timo Salonen, with 2 World Championship wins already under his belt this year, showed his true class in the Peugeot. Having always performed well in New Zealand, he was regarded by many as the favourite to win this event. On practice day, he showed some of the technique and style that has him leading the Drivers' Championship by 18 points at the moment. Fresh from his first World Championship win in this year's Safari Rally, Toyota's Juha Kankkunen found the early pace very hot. With Voldegaard's demise, Toyota's hopes now rested with Kankkunen. The Toyota already trailed Blomqvist by a minute 25 seconds. Kenyan Shaker Mehta led the Nissan team in the new, lighter, more powerful evolutionary 240 RS. Surprisingly, he trailed local Nissan Works driver Reg Cook by 30 seconds. The entry of 2 Russian Works laders outside Eastern Europe was a notable feature of the rally. The seeding of Strasses Brunse at 9th was to pose problems for New Zealand's Reg Cook, as he caught the Russian several times during the day. Despite trailing the ladder's dust, Cook was fastest New Zealander on 6 of the day's 12 stages. Driving the ex-Hannu Mikkola Audi Quattro, Malcolm Stewart settled into an easy rhythm. Not having much rally driving in the car before the International, he was content to take things steadily. He trailed Cook by 11 seconds. Neil Allport promised much in his Mazda RX-7. He'd been the leading New Zealander on several previous Internationals without finishing. He trailed Cook by 23 seconds at this early stage. Paul Adams and the Toyota Corolla led the Group A challenge against the powerful Works Subaru team. Adams showed exceptional speed to be already 1 minute ahead of the leading Subaru of Kenyan Mike Kirkland. The Subaru Motorsport Group of Japan showed their serious intent by entering 4 Works models of their new 4-wheel drive RX turbos. New Zealander Jim Donald made a welcome return to international rallying in a Nissan 240 RS. He had the misfortune of running out of petrol in this leg, incurring a 4-minute penalty, which dropped him back to 34th place. Immediately, the pattern of the rally was established. The Audi and Peugeot supercars separated themselves from the rest. The Audis were revelling in the fast gravel stages, with Blomqvist lying a close second to teammate Röhrl. Ari Vatanen was lying 4th, 36 seconds down on Röhrl. Röhrl led Blomqvist by 12 seconds after special stage 4. His engine was revving at 1,000 RPM less than normal, and this seemed to make him drive with even more determination. The four leading drivers were within 4 seconds of each other in Special Stage 4. Salonen held third place in his Peugeot. He trailed Blomqvist by 6 seconds and Rall by 16. Juha Kankinen fell further from the leaders with each stage. After 4 stages, he was down by 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Shaker Mehta also found his Nissan well off the pace, even having 2 New Zealanders in front of him. He trailed Reg Cook by 42 seconds and was 3 minutes 46 seconds down on Rall. Awesome Bourne started to move his Subaru more quickly and made up 11 placings in 2 stages to lie 17th overall, but still more than 2 minutes down on Paul Adams, who led Group A. Tahitian Denis Menestria found himself in some difficulties in Special Stage 4. With assistance from willing spectators, he managed to get mobile again, his car seemingly suffering little worse than panel damage. Service for Peugeot at the end of Special Stage 5. The cars were not handling well and hasty work was done on the suspension.
Harry, how's it gone so far?
Well, I think I'm still getting used to it. I've tried to get into a right groove, right rhythm, and we have had a couple of spins, and so I'm not in a right gear yet. But anyway, it's a long rally, so I must not get excited about this.
And what about the car? Has that gone all right?
Yes, thank you. Yes, no problem at all. Technically, just we lowered the suspension before the rally, maybe a little bit too much to the height where we haven't had it before, and now I'm raising it back to normal.
Where are you at the moment behind?
I'm fourth behind Walter, Timo and Stig, but not far behind Stig, but it's very early days now.
Good, thank you. How has it gone so far, Seppo, for you and Timo?
Well, nice and smooth. No problems, and the driving's been, if not fast enough, but anyway, no mistakes done so far.
Apart from Special Stage 2, which he won, Stig Blomqvist seemed uncharacteristically off the pace. On no other stage during the day did he record better than 4th fastest time, and by Special Stage 7 was in 4th place, 1 minute 54 seconds down on teammate Rall. Suspension settings seemed to make the Peugeots handle better, and the charge on leader Rall was on in earnest. The Peugeots won all of the day's remaining 5 special stages. Ari Vatanen set fastest time in this stage and the last 2 stages. Walter Rall still led the field, driving the Sport Quattro he last used in Corsica. Although still down on revs, the sheer brute power of the Audi kept him ahead of the Peugeots. Timo Salonen was only 1 second slower than teammate Vatanen. He set the fastest time on the next 2 stages and began gradually taking seconds back from leader Rall. Reg Cook was still the leading New Zealander and 6th overall. He had a 61-second lead over Malcolm Stewart's Quattro. On the longer stages, Cook was continually troubled by the dust of Stasis Brunzer in the Lada, catching and passing him frequently during the first day. Neil Allport was 3rd New Zealander and 1 minute 17 seconds down on Cook. He was 9th overall. Inky Tulloch drove steadily through the day. He was 12th overall and 6th New Zealander. Mike Montgomery pushed his Mazda RX-7 along at a good pace, but found one corner particularly tricky in Special Stage 7. Stuart Eyre in another Mazda RX-7 had been driving at great speed all day. He was 11th overall, just behind Paul Adams, who easily led Group A from 3 Subarus. Ray Wilson easily led his under 1300cc class by 6 minutes at the end of the day and was an amazing 19th overall. As the cars headed back to Auckland through the darkness, Volterol's Audi Sport Quattro still led the field, but the gap back to Timo Salinen's Peugeot was only 16 seconds. Ari Vatanen had the other Peugeot in 3rd place, just 60 seconds behind the leader. Stig Blomqvist was 4th, a further minute 34 behind Vatanen, with Juha Kankanen's Toyota well off the pace, 8 minutes 44 behind Rawle. Reg Cook was 6th overall and first New Zealander, 59 seconds ahead of Malcolm Stewart's Quattro. Paul Adams led Group A from the Subarus of Tony Teasdale, Possum Bourne and Mike Kirkland. The teams went for service before Parc Ferme at the end of a dusty day 1.
How has it gone today, Timo?
Today was all right and no any problems. We lost during two stages. We lost 20 seconds per stage to Walter. He was so quick in those 2 stages, but otherwise, all right.
You said your car wasn't handling very well earlier.
No, we start with the low suspension and it was not so good handling, and then we put the normal suspension, and now car working very well.
Good. So you're happy after the first day? 16 seconds?
Yes. Long way to go still.
Paul, how was today's rally?
It was excellent. The car's gone very well. We've had one puncher that cost us 2 minutes in Special Stage 9. We only had it 3 kilometres from the start, but apart from that, we've had a perfect run.
And how's the competition?
Oh, the competition's excellent, as it always is. It's unfortunate Possum Bourne's had so much problems this division, but you know, he'll definitely come back, and there's a long way to go yet.
Leg 2, and time to reflect on yesterday's events and look ahead to today's.
Walter, could you tell us a little bit about yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday it was a day with full motivation for me. I was really trying hard from beginning. Then I had this problem with my engine, which just makes my motivation more. Sometimes I was really angry and I was going like hell, but I don't think I can go this speed over 4 days.
No. What are you looking forward to today?
Okay, I will try it again now to go as fast as possible, but especially if it's raining or if it's slippery, we cannot beat them.
No.
We need dry, hard curb roads, and we can beat them. But as soon as it starts, it's slippery, it's difficult.
So you're looking for Timo might be catching you?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Thanks very much.
Okay.
Well, the rally for me has been very good, except the fact the seating situation yesterday and going through the dust and making mistakes and having 8 spins in dust and knocking down spectators and photographers and things like that really wasn't a very enjoyable experience. In fact, I've crashed cars, and I would say yesterday was probably a more traumatic time for me, going through on pace notes, catching a larder every 10 k's, taking 2 minutes off them in 10 k's, than anything I've ever done before. I don't really want to ever do that again. It's nice to be first New Zealander, and it's nice to be ahead of Shecker, but it's not very nice doing that.
Leg 2 of 183 kilometres of special stages took the cars south of Auckland. The leg began with a 2.5 kilometre public road stage around the streets of Manukau City. Salonen set the fastest time, but the 3 leading cars were separated only by a second each. For some, however, the stage did not go quite so smoothly. Two stages in Maramarua Forest saw no dramatic change among the leaders despite the rain. Malcolm Stewart in his Quattro coped with the wet conditions well, beating Cook's Nissan in both stages. He now trailed Cook by 43 seconds. A 7-kilometre sealed stage saw Rawle increase his lead over Salonen to 26 seconds. Neil Allport simply flew his Mazda through the rain, setting equal third fastest time with Blomqvist. A short stage through the mud and rain at Mystery Creek near Hamilton brought disaster for leader Walter Rawle. He overshot a corner, his engine stopped and lost 30 seconds and the lead to Salonen. Salonen set the fastest time, his third in 5 stages so far on leg 2, and with Rawle's mistake, he went into a narrow 3-second lead. For Juha Kankkunen, the stage was even more disastrous. With memories of the problems he had last year, he found himself grinding to a halt with diff and gearbox problems. He lost 32 minutes while repairs were made. Kankkunen finally emerged, having crashed to 29th place overall. And for Toyota, any hopes they may have had of a reasonable showing ended at Mystery Creek. Jim Donald started the day in 28th place overall and began a charge that would see him in 15th place at the end of the leg. He set 5th equal fastest time in this stage.
Forrester suit here as well, or what?
That's automatic.
Ari Vartnen set 3 fastest times in the last 5 stages of Leg 2. The speeds attained by the Peugeots and Audis during the rally were staggering. Most special stages had new records set on them. Rawl was only 4th fastest in this stage, and after regaining the lead in special stage 18, he lost it again to Salonen by 15 seconds after special stage 19. Neil Allport continued his charge on leading New Zealander Reg Cook, trailing him by 60 seconds. Paul Adams continued to lead Group A, but on the second to last stage of the leg, he went off the road in soft sand and lost 50 minutes, having to be dug out by his service crew. With Tony Teasdale having several offs in the latter stages, Possum Bourne and his Subaru RX Turbo ended the day in 9th place overall and leading New Zealander in Group A. Ray Wilson completely dominated the small car class and held down 14th place overall at the end of the day. The last 2 stages were held in the forests near Tokoroa. Some of the lower order cars had some difficulty with one particular bend. With a stunning display of high-speed night driving, Volta Rawl grabbed back 19 seconds from Salonen on the last stage to be only 23 seconds behind him at the end of the leg. Reg Cook led the New Zealanders, but Neil Allport had closed the gap to 35 seconds. Service for the Peugeot team at the end of Leg 2, a day on which the lead changed 4 times.
Here we are at the end of the second day, Timo. How has the day gone?
Very well, and I'm happy and no any problems, and our speed was quite good.
Leg 3 through the forests near Rotorua. Timo Salonen increased his lead fractionally to 36 seconds over Volta Rawl after 3 of the morning stages had been completed. Rawl was losing time to Salonen on each stage, having increasing problems with his Audi's gearbox. Vartnen won 2 of the first 3 stages and began gradually to reduce the gap between himself and Rawl. Stig Blomqvist was unable to make any significant impression on the trio ahead of him. For Reg Cook, the day began disastrously. A blown gearbox on the first touring stage saw him lose 15 minutes. This left Neil Allport as the first New Zealander 2 minutes 36 seconds ahead of Malcolm Stewart. Juha Kankinen was making a desperate charge through the field, trying to salvage something for the Toyota team. For some of the lower order cars, the forests of Rotorua can cause all sorts of problems. The dominance of the Peugeots on the third morning was total. Salen and Vartnen each won 3 of the morning's 7 stages, with Blomqvist and Rawl setting equal fastest times and managing to salvage 1 stage for Audi. For Walter Rawl, it was a frustrating morning. His gearbox trouble continued, being able to select only 1 gear on one of the stages. Pressure now went on Neil Allport as the leading New Zealander. He'd been in this position on several occasions in previous internationals and failed to complete one of them. He led Malcolm Stewart's Quattro by 2 minutes 19 seconds after 7 stages on leg 3. Inky Tulloch was making excellent progress. He lay 7th overall and was 3rd New Zealander. Possum Bourne was 8th overall and easily led Group A from teammate Tony Teasdale, who was 7 minutes behind him. For Audi, anxious moments as their cars pull in for service. There isn't enough time to fully repair Rawls' problem gearbox. Only 4 seconds separated the leading cars on special stage 31 as they headed towards Taupo and 3 long stages in the forests. Salonen set fastest time on 2 of the 5 stages in this part of the leg. For Walter Rawls, the end of the leg meant much needed attention to his gearbox and an end to his frustrations of driving a partially functioning car. Continued to take time off Rawls on each stage. Varied his pace through the day, yet went quicker overall. He won 2 stages and scored more second and third fastest times than on previous days. It seemed he was beginning an attack on Vartanen's 3rd placing. Neil Allport continued to lead the New Zealanders. He was driving very quickly and looks set to consolidate his 5th position overall. The last stage of the day saw Salonen with a 1 minute 43 second lead over Rawls, with Vartanen now only 29 seconds behind Rawls. Blomqvist was only 1 minute 39 seconds behind Vartanen. Suddenly, none of the leading positions seemed secure. For Neil Allport, special stage 34 was to bring disaster. A high-speed crash, resulting in broken steering, ended his rally. Once again, Allport had failed to finish an international rally when he held the leading position. Malcolm Stewart now found himself the leading New Zealander. He had a massive 12-minute lead over Inky Tulloch, who was now 2nd local driver. For Peugeot, the day had been a good one, with their drivers now in 1st and 3rd placings.
End of the 3rd night now, Timo, and how are things going?
Everything going very well. The car no any problems. And last few stages we did a little bit not maximum speed. And tomorrow we go flat out if it's necessary.
Here we are at the end of the 3rd night. How do you feel about it?
Well, it could be better, it could be worse. Now we are only 29 seconds behind Walter. I would have liked to be in the front if possible, but anyway I'm still behind him, but tomorrow we have still quite a lot of mileage left, and 29 seconds. It's not impossible task to catch up.
The Nissan team reflected on Reg Cook's unhappy day during the evening service.
It's been a bloody tough day, really tough day. We've had to work very hard. Reg has had a very unfortunate problem before the start of the first stage with his gearbox going on him. Fortunately it wasn't in the stage, and we're damn lucky. We managed to get our emergency service vehicles in there, and they did a gearbox change in 12 minutes on the side of the road. It was a brilliant effort from them. He's taken it very steady this afternoon, and this evening River Road's very dangerous. And when you think of what's happened to Neil Orport with his role in the second to last stage, it shows how dangerous it is if you try to go balls out. And you know, Reg has not gone balls out. He's driven 8 tenths, as JD has. I don't blame him.
Leg 4 began with a long touring stage from Rotorua to the Puriora Forest. In what was a decisive special stage, the Peugeot team struck. As the cars jumped their way out of the forest, Salonen was second fastest. Rawle lost time to both Peugeots. Vartnen flew through with fastest time. Blomqvist fell further behind. The Peugeot team were now first and second overall. Salonen had a 2-minute 7-second lead over Vartnen and Rawle. As the cars left for special stage 37, Salonen seemed quite relaxed, knowing that short of a major mistake, he had seemingly beaten off the Audis. He recorded only one fastest time on the whole leg. Rawle could do little to hold back the Peugeots. He could only set a series of third and fourth fastest times in the early stages of the leg. The charge on Salonen came not from Rawle, but from Salonen's teammate Vartnen. Vartnen recorded fastest times on 7 of the first 8 stages of the final leg. Malcolm Stewart found himself in a rally virtually on his own. Too far behind the leading 4 to challenge them, he also had a 13-minute lead over Tulloch. For Inky Tulloch, special stage 38 proved costly.
You shouldn't have let him get in front of you.
His excursion into the fence brought Reg Cook within 95 seconds, and the battle among the New Zealanders became one for second-placed local driver. Juha Kankinen was making a charge through the field, but his Toyota refused to start in the next stage, ending a disappointing rally for the Toyota team. Special stage 39. For Peugeot, the pattern was established. Salonen led the way, content to put up second fastest time to Vatanen. Tulloch continued to fend off a rapidly closing Cook. Cook picked up a further 43 seconds on the stage to be only 52 seconds behind Tulloch. The Subarus completely dominated Group A, holding down the first 4 placings in the group. Possum-Bourne again showed his talent in this class, being 10 minutes ahead of Tony Teasdale, who was second. Jim Donald began the leg nearly 5 minutes down on Teasdale, but an aggressive drive saw him eventually move ahead of Teasdale by the end of the leg. A short service break for Audi. For Audi, the New Zealand Rally was an important turning point in the year's program. They had to win to keep alive any hopes of retaining their manufacturer's title. But team manager Roland Gumpert must have been concerned about the future of the whole Audi Sport Quattro program. The final 3 short stages near Auckland saw the Peugeot team taking things easy, knowing that the rally was won and giving the team their best result yet in a World Championship event. The Pukekohe racetrack, normally used for circuit racing, became the venue for a World Championship rally. The officials prepared their equipment. The rally leader, Timo Salonen, went through the motions of taking his car around the circuit on his way to his 3rd World Championship win this year and increasing his lead in the Drivers' Championship to a commanding 28 points. Possum-Bourne led the Subaru clean sweep of Group A, and Ray Wilson completely demolished his opponents in the 0 to 1300cc class, finishing almost an hour ahead of the 2nd place getter in Class 5.
great effort. Good on you. I've been to Finland and I'm very pleased to see you're the winner.
Thank you very much.
Very good indeed.
Thank you.
Congratulations. It's been a great effort over a long time, isn't it?
Yes. Very much. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Gotcha.
Salonen finished 1 minute 17 seconds ahead of Vatanen and 2 minutes 26 seconds ahead of Rawl. First New Zealander home, Malcolm Stewart, finished nearly 18 minutes ahead of his nearest rival, Reg Cook, but nearly 1 hour behind Salonen. Will they be the next world champions?